Today I'm here to give you 7 updates in terms of migration legislation for Australia that happened in November. The first one has to do with DAMA, the Designated Area Migration Agreement in the state of South Australia. The state government has updated their list of occupations that are eligible for the sponsorship visa under the DAMA, and there's a heavy focus on the health sector, agribusiness, and tech for the whole state, which the government of the state believes will be critical to recovery after COVID. Now, the Adelaide specific agreement has a heavy focus on the defense and space sector as well. The state of South Australia also confirmed that all occupations on their DAMA list now will lead the visa holder onto a permanent visa later. The second update I have to give you is in relation to 485 graduate visas. With the travel ban, a lot of graduates have been stuck outside of Australia, and the 485 is normally a non-shore visa that students, after completing certain courses in Australia, apply for in the country and while they are here. Therefore, a lot of people who are on holidays when the borders closed in March have not been able to apply for this visa. Since the 14th of November, the IMI account electronic form has been updated to include applications, to accept applications from people who are located outside of Australia. This is only for people who have been affected by the travel ban from the 1st of February 2020. Also, the 6 months rule, which means graduates can only apply for the graduate 485 visa within 6 months of completing their course, has been extended to 12 months, but again, only for people who are stuck outside of the country and because of the coronavirus epidemic. The third update we have to give to you is in relation to the ETA. ETA is an electronic travel authority visa for visitors wanting to come into Australia, and that's only available to certain countries, among them the United States, Canada, Korea, and Singapore, for example. That visa was suspended, processing of that visa was suspended for a while, and the department has resumed processing that type of visa. Not only that, but they created an electronic app for Android and iPhone, and visa applicants can use that app to apply for the visa. Now, they can't let someone else apply for the visa for them, as the app requires a photo of their face. And it's also important to know that even if you get an ETA or any type of visitor visa, even if the visa is approved, you won't be able to travel to Australia while the travel ban is in place, unless you apply for and you are granted an exemption. The fourth update has to do with New Zealand citizens. They can travel to Australia, and if they have been to in New Zealand for 14 days or more, they can travel on quarantine-free flights, which means they won't have to quarantine once they arrive in Australia. Now, the updates that exemption also includes people who have been in New Zealand for 14 days. So even if you are not a New Zealand citizen and you are in New Zealand and you have been there for more than 14 days, you can fly to Australia without quarantining. However, if you're not a citizen, you would still require a travel exemption to come to Australia if you're not a New Zealand citizen. So don't think that because you are in New Zealand, maybe you're studying there on a student visa, that you would be exempted to travel. You will be exempted from quarantining, but only if you have a travel exemption, which is very hard to get for students at the moment. So not that much of an update. We also have updates in relation to the Distinguished Talent Visa. It used to be 2 subclasses, number 1 to 4 for people who are outside of Australia and were applying from outside, and the 858 for people who were in Australia. The visa was the same, with the difference that the location of the applicant was different. To streamline that type of visa, the department has combined both subclasses into one, has ceased subclass 1 to 4, and now, regardless if you are in or outside of Australia, when applying for a Distinguished Talent Visa, you will apply under subclass 858. And the 7th and last update for today has to do with 457 or 482 sponsorship visa holders who have had their working hours reduced by the COVID pandemic, or even have been stood down or taken unpaid leave because of that. There was a lot of confusion and concerns for people looking into applying for permanent residence coming from a 457 or a 482 visa, and how they would meet the minimum time of work that they had to complete with one employer before applying for the 186 permanent visa. The department has confirmed via legislation publishing that people affected by the coronavirus during a concession period, which started again in February this year, will be able to meet the work time requirement for the 186 visa, even if they have had their working hours reduced or if they were stood down as a result of the pandemic. So if you are in that situation, if you are looking at applying for a permanent 186 employer visa, get in touch with us. The concession period and the legislation is not very simple, it's very complex, but we will be happy to have a look at your circumstances and see if you would meet the requirements. So thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the 7 migration updates from November 2020. Bye.